Hi everybody, I'm Patrick Dockery. In my life, I have worn many hats and tasted many flavors. As I travel the world, I explore the finest cities in search for culture, history, and great food. Along the way, I get to meet today's most interesting celebrities, focusing on the positive side of life, allowing them to share their causes, charities, and what truly fascinates them. We cook and dine with some of the finest chefs of our time, preparing healthy and delicious meals in some of the hottest restaurants. Also, we showcase the latest, most creative, and hippest trends of beauty, fashion, and lifestyle. I pursue my passion for health and fitness and acquire some of the most innovative wellness strategies. And now, I want to share this all with you. So come along on this amazing journey, and together, we will experience a world of health, beauty, and life. On today's show, we head to Fox Business News in New York to meet Melissa Francis of the hit show Money with Melissa Francis. On the set, we talked to her about her career, how she got started in television, her transition to news, her balance of family life, and more. Next, we head to the Hawaiian island of Lanai, where at the Four Seasons Resort at Manali Bay, you'll find Nobu. Known around the world for its exquisite cuisine, Nobu Lanai is no exception. Then we head to Seattle, where we go below the surface of the Emerald City in one of Bill Speidel's underground tours. It's here that you'll find the secret passageways that were once the original first floor storefronts of the city before the entire city was destroyed in the early 1900s. But first, we head to Fox Business News headquarters to meet Melissa Francis. Melissa Francis joined Fox Business Network as an anchor in January 2012 and is now the host of Money with Melissa Francis, a daily show airing on FBN. But Melissa isn't new to television. In fact, she started at a very young age on a show you might have heard of called Little House on the Prairie. We sat down with Melissa on the set of her show at the Fox News Studios in Manhattan, New York, to discuss life on TV, family, and so much more. I knew you from Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. So you know I'm not really blonde. No, I grew up in Hollywood. I was a child actor. I did, my first job when I was 6 months old, did Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo commercials and, entertainment the whole time I was growing up in LA. I was a real Hollywood kid.
And you wrote a book about that, about your experiences.
I did. Diary of a Stage Mother's Daughter. It was out about a year ago. It's in paperback now and flying off the shelves. And, I wrote every word of it myself. It's straight from the heart. And it was about, both the pros and the struggles of growing up in Hollywood and the confidence that it gives you, and then also, the real challenges that it presents. I had a stage mom, as you can tell from the title of the book, and it just became a very relevant discussion at a time when tiger parenting is out there and people are really pushing their kids. I wanted to sort of show the other side of what can happen when you push your kids. So
yeah, and you didn't break. You can either break or you can excel, and it seems like you became stronger.
For me, it worked out. For my sister, it was a lot tougher, and it really chronicled the whole thing in the book. So I don't want to spoil the end of it, but you can really see both sides of how it can turn out. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it sounds like a very interesting
very dramatic.
book.
Yeah,
a mommy dearest type thing in a way, but not as hardcore.
Kind of. Yeah, I'd like to say a little softer, a little more serious. It also, you'll leave in a lot of parts laughing as well. So
good.
There you go.
It's good to have a laugh. So now from there.
Yeah.
You had the acting bug, and you've done it for many, many years.
How
did you end up in finance?
Well, I went off to Harvard because I wanted to sort of really shake up my life and be a completely different part of the country where I couldn't go on auditions no matter what, and see if it drew me back and I had to go back to Hollywood, or if there was something else I wanted to do with my life. And, I majored in economics, and I got a summer internship for actually the local Fox affiliate in LA. And to me, it was so different from acting because you're not acting out lines.
It's more of a commentary, right? Yeah.
It is. You're not acting out lines that someone else is writing. I mean, my show, Money, is almost completely unscripted. We're sitting there, we're debating, we're talking. It's very much a back and forth. So for me, news was, a lot more intellectual, and it was more about what I was interested in, versus acting, where you're kind of a puppet and you're, inhabiting a character that someone else invented.
Right, and if you're into the character, great, you might have a great day, but if not, you're at work.
Absolutely.
Well, now, it was pretty interesting because it wasn't necessarily like handed to you on a silver platter.
This is a tough business, and so it's tough business to break into. I went around to all the little towns, everything that was driving distance from Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I landed my first job in Maine, and I was sort of off to the races.
You're a hustler. That's the bottom line, right?
In this economy, you have to be. I mean, we say that on my show all the time. You've got to kind of make it happen for yourself. And whether that's starting your own franchise, starting your own business, how can you get into this business and make this happen for yourself? Because with money in the economy today, you have to do it yourself.
And you appreciate it more, right?
I think so.
Well, now you're a busy mom too. You have two children.
I do.
Now you planned it all out. You and your husband met in school, and
we met in college, and we were married for a while before we had kids because we both, you know, were really into our jobs and stuff. And now we have two sons that are 4 and 7, and I have to say that every cliche they say about kids is absolutely true. I mean, they are the light of my life, and you know, I'm like so many working moms. Get up in the morning, make breakfast. You know, I get them ready for school, drop them off. I come here, do my show, and then I'm back usually in time, you know, to pick them up from their after-school activities. We have dinner, do homework. You know, like a lot of moms.
That's the best.
Yeah,
you have
it's
a normal
great.
life.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're helping people with money and sharing your concepts. That's what I really like. The fact that you are taking what's in here, you're condensing it down, and you're distilling it and giving it to the public. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much for letting me stop by with you.
Loved having you. Come back soon.
Okay, we sure will. And thank you so much for being here with us. And until next time, just remember to enjoy. Stick around. We head to Nobu Lanai next. We're back on the island of Lanai at Nobu. Nobu restaurants are known for their quality ingredients as well as their service. Chef Sean Mel has been creating his own vibe at Nobu, building on traditions set by Chef Nobu himself and taking advantage of local fish and fresh-grown produce, creating a dining experience not found anywhere else. Now, how'd you get here? You're from New York originally, I guess.
Well, I started in the Nobu, New York City. I worked there for about 5 years. They originally asked me to come out and do the opening as part of the task force back in December of last year. And then they told me it's in Hawaii, so I said, why not spend the winter in Hawaii?
Now, we're actually going to get to go in the kitchen with you and do a little cooking. So what do we have for today?
So we're going to do an arugula dry miso salad with actually Kona-made lobster.
Okay.
We kind of pride ourselves on having the opportunity to pick fresh greens and bring them in and work with them immediately.
Chef Sean is putting a whole new twist on farm-to-table ingredients. He's taken resident at nearby Benny's Farm. Here, Chef and his team grow most of their ingredients used in the restaurant. And he takes personal pride in this produce, spending hours a week here cultivating the finest ingredients. It takes skill to prepare properly.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the ingredients.
So the ingredients today, this is actually some fresh Kona lobster. These are actually farm raised in Kona. They are the same breed as your typical Maine lobster.
Sure.
But they are done in Kona water, so it actually changes the flavor. We also have, again, this was our arugula.
The arugula, yeah.
Picked today with you guys out there, yeah? I mean, the smell on this and the taste on this, super peppery.
Oh, it is.
So in Nobu's original dish, they actually use crispy leeks. But because we are growing our own Tokyo Negi, you know, we feel it's better to do the Tokyo Negi. So this is actually picked from our garden today as well.
Yep.
You know, the end result is going to be this after it gets, you know, a little bit flash fried. We're going to peel back the layers.
Okay.
And then fry it from there.
Okay.
So this is the end result of that.
Absolutely.
You know, it's nice, crunchy. It almost has, well, it is the same flavor as like onion rings.
Okay.
In a sense.
Right.
So also with this ingredient, this salad, we're going to use this fresh Parmesan Reggiano.
Okay.
So it's just, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but they always associate umami with Japanese food. But you'd be surprised the amount of umami that's actually in Parmesan.
Really?
So that's something that's unique about this dish as well.
What does that mean?
That's like the extra taste, the extra sense in your tastes.
Oh, okay.
So with this salad, we'll take the lobster. Now Nobu likes nice, lush, large bites of food.
Okay.
But you just got to fit in your mouth. You're eating with chopsticks as well.
Sure.
So with this, we're just gonna slice this down the center here.
Okay.
And we're gonna cut each part of this tail. We'll cut into about 3 pieces.
And I always say this every time. We always tend to eat with our eyes as well, right?
Of course, always eat with your eyes first.
Okay.
If something looks good, it's gonna taste good. If something doesn't look good, whether it does taste good or not, it's still not gonna taste right.
Part of the whole experience, yeah.
The claws, we'll use these to finish at the end.
The meat looks really tender.
Oh yes. They're a very lush, tender dish. So with this, we're gonna do a little bit of truffle oil.
Okay.
This is just unbelievable. So this is one of the only companies that uses actual truffles to make the oil. Nobu prides itself on organic, sustainable food, so it's only right that we use products that do the same thing. So this is just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil we use. Again, another organic product that we use. Just give it a light drizzle. This is a salted yuzu juice.
Okay, tell me what yuzu juice is.
Yuzu juice is a Japanese citrus fruit. Actually, this citrus fruit is imported from Japan, fresh squeezed for us.
Oh, right.
Now we're just going to give it a hint of the yuzu.
Okay. That gives you acidity, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Which will cut through that bitterness and the fattiness from the cheese as well. And then this is actually Nobu's signature dry miso seasoning.
Oh, yeah.
So with this dish, we're not going to use any salt because this is going to be my salt here, and so is the cheese.
Okay.
And then we're going to use our crispy Tokyo Negi. This is, again, was fresh picked from our garden today. We use a good amount in here, give it a little bit of a texture contrast as well. And also with this dish, we do a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper as well.
Okay. Okay.
So we're going to do a little bit of fresh shaved Parmesan cheese in here.
This is finely shaved, right?
Yes.
That smells great, by the way. It's releasing. I noticed right when you started doing that, all the fragrance just came right out.
Next up, we taste some of Nobu's creations. Welcome back to Nobu at the Four Seasons Lanai. After the finishing touches, it's time to enjoy this amazing salad. And what better way to enjoy than with the specialty pour of Nobu's own brand of sake. So before we taste, we sat with manager and sake aficionado Ross Boykin to learn a little bit about the drink of choice at Nobu.
All of our sakes are made exclusively just for our Nobu brand by the Hazu family. Hokusetsu, which means northern snow, comes from northern Japan. Nice cold winters there, just makes for perfect sake.
What is sake? Because I mean, you know, maybe we don't know around here.
Well, most people consider sake like rice wine, but it's really more like rice beer because of the fermentation process. You just need koji, you need some good yeast, and some really just premier perfect rice. And the Japanese, they really take care of their rice. They polish it down. They take about 35% of one piece of rice. You got to think of how small that is, right? They wave it down to get to that little piece, and they take the best part of the rice, and then they make the sake out of it. It's wonderful.
Well, you guys are the experts. I guess let's try your food, chef. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Yep. Let's all try it at the same time.
Oh, Sean likes the.
Oh, you do it this way? That's New York style, right? Yeah. Hey, Vegas style. They throw them on the table. They roll the dice.
Yay!
Hey, you're unbelievable. All right. So, all right, guys, let's go for it. Let's get some of this food here. I'm just gonna dig in.
Thank you, chef.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put this in my mouth.
You go taste the freshness of that lobster a bit. Oh.
Wow, that's good. And the fact that it's not overly cooked, it gives it more of a like a kind of a little more of a sea flavor, like a little. You taste the ocean a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when you cook it all the way, you lose that.
By cooking it too much, you lose texture, you lose flavor. We go just a tad under, and what that does is it creates a sweetness.
Well, this is one of your favorite salads.
This, yes. Combination of the dry miso and the acid and the truffles and the cheese, and just it's an umami that is different from what people are used to when they think of umami.
Love it, love it. Well, let me know. I'm not a drinker, but I want you guys to hit that sake and tell me what you see. And is that in a wood, actually a wood box?
Cedar. Yes, it is. And it actually can help kind of complement the sake as well with a little bit of flavor there.
Okay. Well, tell me how it is, guys.
Absolutely. Come by.
Kanpai. Oh, there you go. Yeah?
Just doesn't get any better.
Is this one of your favorites?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is it's silky smooth, luxurious, everything you want in a great sake.
And this is amazing. And it's very simple, but yet the components all put together make it a home run.
Yes. Yeah. And it was an honor to be able to cook for you guys.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Anytime. Welcome to Lanai.
Welcome to Lanai and Four Seasons. And here we are at the Nobu, and that's where they need to come.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for being here. And until next time, just remember to enjoy.
Coming up next, Seattle Underground. We're back at Bill Speidel's Underground Tour in Seattle, Washington. Bill Speidel's Underground Tour is a must-see while you're visiting the Emerald City of Seattle. This leisurely walking tour takes you below the sidewalks and streets of downtown Seattle as you roam the subterranean passages that were once the main roadways and first-floor storefronts of the city. This historical and fascinating tour with a twist comes with stories the city's pioneers might not want you to know about. Our guide, Dave Clavey, took us underground and revealed to us the past and dark secrets of Seattle. So where are we?
We are in the Pioneer Square neighborhood, our historic neighborhood. We're one level below the current street.
Okay, and what's this place called? This tour, I'm sorry.
Bill Speidel's Underground Tour.
Tell me a little bit about Bill Speidel.
Bill Speidel's the journalist who started this tour in 1965 in an effort to help save Pioneer Square's historic neighborhood, which in the 1960s was in danger of the wrecking ball. So, along with several architects, he made the effort to save the neighborhood. His contribution was Seattle's only true history tour. So we take people through the ruins of the original city of Seattle, dating from 1851, and the city burned to the ground in 1889.
Burned to the ground? How did it burn to the ground?
That was a glue fire. It was actually a cabinet maker shop. And a Swedish immigrant by the name of John Back knocked over a boiling glue pot on the wood shavings soaked with turpentine. The cabinet maker's shop was next to an ammo dump and a liquor store, and it had a paint shop on top. So it didn't take much.
Right?
A great combo.
Wow.
Made the fire burn out of control. So it only took 12 hours to burn the entire city.
Are you kidding?
And no one died.
Really? Now, how did they put the fire out? Did they have a fire department, or?
Well, they had a Keystone Cop Fire Department.
Now, this tour is not all about the fluffy, beautiful things in Seattle. I mean, Bill Speidel wanted to kind of get a little down and raunchy, huh?
He went for the lowest common denominator, and he dug up all the dirt, scandal, corruption, and vice on our founding and our founding fathers.
Yeah, for example, this wall.
This wall is half of a current street called Yesler Avenue, which is the original Skid Road in the West. Skid Road is a logging term. They would skid.
And it was Skid Road.
Skid Road. They would skid, cut trees down a very steep hill to the sawmills in the waterfront. In the early 1900s, a reporter from Chicago visited the neighborhood, saw that it was kind of transient in a down and out part of town. Had heard the Skid Road legend, so he did a twist, Skid Row, meaning a part of town where people in a bad way are on the skids.
On the skids, right.
And then that just took off in the United States.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's great information. Now, how big is this area that we're going to go through?
Well, the tour itself goes through about 3 square blocks. The underground itself is 20 square blocks. It's called the Pioneer Square Historic District, or neighborhood.
Okay, and what do you see on the tour? Tell us a little bit about what you're going to see.
We go through subterranean tunnels of what used to be the original city. We put an edge to history. It's not just straight names and dates. Try to
put a little color into it, huh?
A lot of color.
Well, that's fun. And I heard as well that this is considered to be a haunted area, correct?
Yes.
And you say you felt things and felt presences and have had weird things happen down here, right?
Well, we're currently in a spot where most of the ghost stories are located, an old bank vault area. And we were a boomtown for the 1897 Klondike Gold Rush in the Canadian Territories. So that bank actually held gold from that gold rush. And we think someone that worked in the bank is still guarding the gold. So we think it's a bank employee dating from the late 1800s who's still haunting a spot he used to work in. Also, Chief Seattle, our namesake, one of his tribes, the Duwamish, had their village at this level in that area. So quite a few people have walked through that section and they've seen the spirits of Native Americans. Which is very eerie because Chief Seattle gave a speech where he told the pioneers, you pushed us off our land, but never forget our spirits will always be here. So we think Chief Seattle...
And it's got some chills when he said that.
We think the Duwamish haunt this spot, along with the bank.
Wow, so there's a lot going on down here.
We think so. We do a nighttime tour of the same space called the Underworld Tour, or the Red Light District.
And what's that all about?
Well, it's adults only.
Okay.
You get a drink with the tour in our lounge, which is a restored Wild West saloon.
Did Wyatt Earp have something to do with that at one point?
Well, Wyatt Earp was in the neighborhood. Wyatt Earp would follow gold rush boomtowns that were flush with money. So he was in this neighborhood for about 2 years. He had his own club, and he also ran a gambling game called Faro out of a saloon in this neighborhood called the J&M Card Room. So Wyatt Earp was here because of the gold rush.
So with that tour, you experienced the more seedy side of old
Yeah,
Seattle.
we don't pull our punches. And on the Underground tour, back then, prostitutes were taxed as seamstresses. That way the city could legally get around that occupation and still make money off of it.
Right, right.
We go straight to the stories of the Red Light District. And it was a Wild West town. I mean, people were getting killed right and left for the gold.
So it's rough and tumble.
Very rough and tumble.
Wow.
Some wild stories. And you know, Seattle today as an image is cleaned up, very Microsoft and Amazon, but it wasn't like that in the 1800s. In the 1800s, late 1800s, Seattle was considered the most sinful city west of the Mississippi.
Really?
So it was an early version of Vegas, actually.
Yeah, Sin City, Seattle.
Yeah,
I like
as
it.
a matter of fact, Skid Row, Yesler Avenue was a demarcation line between heaven and hell. So everything south of Yesler stayed south of Yesler, and then everything north of Yesler was the church-going folks.
So what happens on the south side of Yesler stays on the south side of Yesler.
Absolutely.
So that was the old Vegas in a lot of ways.
Yeah, very much so.
Wow, before ahead of its time.
Ahead of its time.
Well, thanks so much for having us.
That was
really
my
appreciate
pleasure.
it. I'm fascinated by this. I didn't know this existed. I'm sure a lot of people don't. And when they get a chance, you know, adults and children during the day, right? Get out here and check this out.
Definitely.
It's definitely a different side of Seattle.
It is.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today. And until next time, just remember to enjoy. Okay, welcome back. Thanks to all of our guests on this week's show and to our travel partners, Alaskan Airlines, Four Seasons Resort Lanai at Manali Bay, and Island Air. And until next time, just remember to enjoy.